Wrestling and Shit with Malik Gaines.
And Jason Wells.
One of the cornerstone pay-per-views of the year, one of the big fours coming out. The Royal Rumble. It's one of the, we care about it every single year. It starts the road to WrestleMania. And a lot of fresh stars have emerged from it. You know, it helped make Shawn Michaels' career. Chris Benoit got his moment thanks to the Royal Rumble. So on and so forth.
One of my favorite events of the year. And when it's a good one, it usually is just my absolute favorite. Not knocking Mania, it's the spectacle of the Rumble match itself that really pulls me in to just be more excited for the Rumble than any other time of the year.
You get your little surprise people that show up. I remember when I went to the Royal Rumble in Detroit in 2009 and Rob Van Dam showed up. The hypest I ever got at a wrestling show. Flat. The hypest I ever got. But we're looking at the card. It looks like a pretty solid card. We'll start with Neville versus Rich Swann for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Neville's on fire.
Yeah,
blank. He gets
Neville
the
is hot.
title. I think he wins it here. Rich Swann is good. He's a talented guy. I think he's very good, but I don't think he even holds a candle to what Neville's doing right now. He needs to run the division. He's the king of the cruiserweights.
Because the only reason why I don't want to see Neville win, I want to see Neville win, I just don't want to see him win right now. Because the cruiserweight title has been getting hot potatoed, and I want Rich Swann to at least have a good reign with it before Neville eventually ends it, but just not right now.
If you notice, like I agree with the sentiment, but I almost forgot or don't care he's the cruiserweight champion since Neville's come. It's almost already been brushed away. I think Neville has gotten more face time and more attention since he's debuted, regardless of Rich Swann.
Or maybe you could view it as he's like the big bad, so you gotta all this is hyping him up to make to put a lot of doubt into maybe Rich Swann's not gonna win. But if Rich Swann does overcome it, this is gonna be his best title defense yet.
Easily.
It's gonna be an amazing match. Neville, is he my favorite cruiserweight? Yes, he's my favorite in ring and on the mic. No, Kendrick on the mic. Neville, he's come a long way because WWE, for a while, I feel like they really didn't give a shit about him, and he finally got that platform to where he can be taken seriously.
Yeah, this is precisely what he needed. I kind of hypothesized this before. What if they bring the cruiserweight title back? I think that's really the best place for Neville. I'm much more glad he's going down this road as opposed to the rumored Mighty Mouse thing. This is a former NXT champion. Show him some respect, and I like it this way.
Moving on to Charlotte versus Bayley for the women's championship.
Charlotte victory.
It's not going to be a clean one though. I see Bayley getting screwed. I keep reading on What Culture and WrestleZone that it's going to be similar to the female version of Daniel Bryan's 2014 Road to WrestleMania. Just him getting screwed over a whole bunch, but when she finally gets that victory at Mania, it's going to feel like it's all worth it. It's all for the payoff.
I like the booking. I think this is the perfect booking for Bayley. It's not my favorite style of booking because it can often be too predictable, but appreciating it for what it is, Bayley's one of the perfect characters for this booking, and I think Charlotte's one of the perfect heels for it as well. And they're both really good in ring, so to complain about any of this would just be unnecessarily smarkish.
I do have my complaint because I do think Bayley is still so damn bland. Because remember, Charlotte beat the shit out of her at Survivor Series, but True. Bayley hasn't done a thing about it. She's still so nice to Charlotte. She's really nice to Charlotte to be someone that bullies her literally all the time. She's too damn nice, and she needs to show some backbone.
I do hate that about her, and I feel I'm really unsure if it's her character they're giving her to portray or just how she wants to portray the character. She's really one of the kids wrestlers right now, and I think that's a part of that. They don't want her to come across too edgy. You're not going to hear her call Charlotte a bitch. That's not going to happen. She's not going to be one of the guys to do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that. I'm just saying, but another good thing to teach kids is to stand up to a bully. Don't just be so passive about it.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. That's one of the worst points of it. I appreciate if they change that booking. I see that as something they wouldn't even change or even care about, really. Unfortunately.
Daniel, as I said, compared to Daniel Bryan, the kids love Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan didn't take shit.
True.
Yeah, he never let people disrespect him. So that's why, and that's one of my favorite parts of Daniel Bryan. He was a small guy, but he had so much heart. Yeah, I really wish he could wrestle again. It's pretty depressing. I'm sad about thinking about it now.
Bryan Danielson,
the American Dragon. But yeah, Charlotte versus Bayley is going to be their fourth, fifth match they've had on the main roster. I'm expecting it to be their best one yet. It's more a circumstance among this one. I'm expecting this to be a standout match.
I definitely agree. Only way it wouldn't is if time constraints come into this. It's the Royal Rumble. I wouldn't expect that.
They extended the time of the pay-per-view to like 4 hours. They got time.
Okay, so this should be an excellent match. Probably one of the better women's matches of 2017. Too early? I don't know.
We'll see.
High expectations.
I don't see why it wouldn't deliver. And moving on next, we got Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship.
Boo, just because booing Roman Reigns is cool, so I don't like it.
And it's still legit. It's not cliche yet to boo Roman Reigns. Not yet.
He's stopping it from becoming cliche, because whenever he speaks, I get irritated still.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost fed up with the Roman Reigns booking again. Like, I let off because he noticeably improved in the ring. He has, and especially when he's going against AJ Styles or Kevin Owens.
But he did have that terrible run with the U.S. Championship. Just awful. And just, it keeps he's making Kevin Owens look so weak. And it's really, like, 'cause Kevin Owens does not seem like a threat. I mean, sure, like, the powerbomb through the table was cool, but it's just like, it just seems so one-sided. And like, Kevin Owens' reign has been awful. Like, I was really hoping that his first world title run was going to be great, because he's one of my favorites on Raw. Out of the new guys, he's my favorite on Raw. So I was expecting him to, be able to deliver, but he's getting overshadowed by Chris Jericho. I'm hoping that Chris Jericho does not interfere in this match. I want Kevin Owens to finally get a successful defense on his own, because that's like, up until the Chris Jericho stuff, even though Kevin Owens was a heel, he handled his business himself.
Yeah, it's almost they gave him this world title with a caveat of we can't have you looking as strong as you actually are as an amazing wrestler. They don't want him to look as good as he is. I think it's possible, and this is grabbing at straws, but it's to not overexpose him or overbook him early as strong as he can be, especially with like this young WWE career. Especially he did come in knocking off Cena, but it's all grabbing at straws here. I don't understand the booking for Owens. I understand the booking for Reigns, unfortunately, is he's the strongest guy in the world, and you can't beat him clean. So unless
you're Seth Rollins.
That's Seth. He's the number one pick. He's the guy, right? No, he's the man.
I forgot. Who's the Roman? Yeah, Roman's the guy, Seth's the man, and Dean is the dude.
He's the redesigned man. So yeah, the rebuilt man. But I feel Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns can have good matches, which is almost the unfortunate part that we've seen this match already. It can be a good match with what the spots, and that's pretty much all he brings, is spots and amazing spear of Roman Reigns and the all-around good in-ring work of Kevin Owens. It's going to be a solid match, but I hope it doesn't stretch too far over like 16, 17 minutes. I don't want to see
it doesn't
Roman
need
getting
to be that long. If it was that long, I'd kind of be annoyed with it. Let's just be like, I don't know, like 14 shit, because like, I'm not at all excited for it. Cause
Jericho's above the ring, though. We got to make the time longer so they can talk about Jericho being above the cage. That's part of the spectacle. They're going to add time to it.
Oh, yeah, that's
There's
true.
3 guys involved, so I'm afraid it's going to go to 22 to 23 to really push the Universal title, even though we know it doesn't mean a lot yet.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully some prestige can get brought to that title, because Raw's the flagship still. Even though SmackDown right now is the better product, I believe that Raw should still be represented with a strong championship and a strong champion. And moving on to a strong champion, AJ Styles versus John Cena for the WWE Championship.
I'm going to explode. This match is going to be amazing. Every time I fight myself to not say phenomenal, but it's going to be perfect. I mean, Cena has been the best I've ever seen Cena be perfectly. This is the most I've been in love with John Cena's work, and AJ Styles is perfect. So there's no way I think this match isn't going to entertain. There's no way it's not going to entertain.
It might be able to outdo their SummerSlam Classic. And yeah, I'm really enjoying the build up. It's the feud. It didn't get worn out. I feel like, so them reigniting it the way they have, it's been quite entertaining. I really enjoyed their back and forth on SmackDown. I loved when AJ was talking to Daniel Bryan in the contract signing. And he was telling Daniel that AJ and Daniel were cut from the same cloth, how they wrestled in basements and gyms, and like just like in bars, just in front of like 20 people, but they just because they loved the craft and how he just called like John Cena like just a corporate person, and yeah, it was very, it had a lot of truth to it. John Cena does love the business, that's definitely true, but I don't think to the degree that someone like an AJ Styles or a Daniel Bryan does.
I agree.
When I'm talking about in ring, I say.
Yeah, in ring then definitely. I definitely agree with you. But I love what a point Cena made is that he wouldn't be here if he didn't love the WWE, because he's pretty successful and famous. He probably could go and have a fraction of the career The Rock has. He probably could. I don't think he's going to ever be as good as The Rock, but that's a whole nother conversation. What Cena has on mic and intensity he brings everyone's attention to the best wrestler in the world. This is possibly going to be one of the best rivalries we can really see, with these two guys who are like the pinnacle of different sides of the wrestling company, or even wrestling itself, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, like they say, the Machine, like Cena, he gets mentioned like with the Hulk Hogan's and the Roman Reigns and those kind of people, like they have in-ring talent, but they more so coast off, like, you know, just backing by Vince McMahon, because Vince McMahon wants to see them in the main event.
Exactly, yeah.
Compared to like AJ, he gets mentioned among like the Shawn Michaels and the Bret Harts, like people that weren't necessarily expected to get to these places. Like Vince McMahon, when I knew when he first saw Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty that he was like, oh, Shawn's about to be the man. Like, there's no way he was thinking that.
No. He probably like nerd and just kept walking.
And moving on to our main event. This Royal Rumble has a ton of intrigue to it. Cause last year the Royal Rumble, it kind of sucked. But this one, I'm expecting a really good show.
I will say about last year's, it was better than the year before, to me.
That one sucked too.
No, yeah, it definitely did. So if this one sucked just a little bit less, I'll be satisfied. No, seriously, we can't have that kind of attitude as WWE fans that just suck less and we'll be okay. I don't think this is going to suck at all, though. I actually pretty excited for this Rumble. I'm really intrigued, like, who's going to win, the surprise entrance, who's going to come out at what spot, who's the number one and number two, because I think that's really important for every Rumble, how you get it started. I like to really wonder about that, because I personally would like, even though he's done it a few times before, I like Miz to be the number one entrant. I actually thought that would have been cool, because he's done it 2 times before, and it'd just be a running gag if he's going to be a number one and actually last into the final 3 this time. I think something like that would be nice for the Miz.
It'd be cool if he protested, oh, Daniel Bryan made me be number one. Like just going off in front of the crowd at the Rumble. That'd be interesting.
Another thing I've heard, just recently is the coming out to Daniel Bryan's entrance thing to the Rumble. Like, to really get the pop of Daniel Bryan's coming out and people get excited, and it just be the Miz coming after doing the yes. Like, it's been a lot of funny things with the Miz been thrown around with the Rumble. Even me putting him on my top 5, one of the people with top 5 chances to win it. I put him higher. Out of 30 people, he had a better chance than Dolph Ziggler does.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about Miz winning this until you said that, because it's pretty probable. Yeah. I wouldn't be upset about it.
I'd actually be excited. I'd love to see. Well, if it's Miz versus Cena again, like, we're really going to start thinking that wouldn't be a terrible main event.
It would be substantially better than their 2011 one.
Oh, much better. They both gotten at 200% better in the ring. They both gotten so much better. And the heat they can bring off this promo from really behind the scenes real stuff in wrestling, storyline, and just off their ability as promo guys. This could be one of the best feuds in wrestling. But I think this is also a place to elevate Miz to be a top heel for the future, to be an old veteran heel, to let him get another Mania. I think that's really important for the company, and they're not taking care of the Miz the way they should at all times. But this would be a nice spot for the Miz to win, but it's still other possibilities. Why it's an excellent Rumble.
I do want to see AJ walk into WrestleMania with the belt, so preferably, my pick, if a SmackDown person wins, I want Joe to get called up. I want Samoa Joe to get called up to SmackDown in the Rumble, win the Rumble, and face AJ at WrestleMania. That's my pick for a SmackDown competitor. My pick for a Raw competitor at the moment is Chris Jericho, because of all the build up with the Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho stuff. It's made for very entertaining stuff, but in a way it definitely diminished Kevin Owens' title reign.
Definitely.
So I'd like it if Chris Jericho won the Rumble and then he'd say, this whole time I was I was helping you win because I wanted to be the one to take it off of you. And Chris Jericho is by far the most over person on Raw. So you give the most over person on Raw the championship.
Sensible. Like it makes 100% sense. I agree with Jericho being Raw. If I pick who I should see winning it from Raw, I have to grasp to not pick Jericho as well. Seth Rollins isn't a far-fetched option, but there's no reason. He has no momentum right now. There's no reason.
Because he's going to fight Triple H, so it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, but where's Triple H been? I don't even know if I'm even interested in that anymore.
I don't care about that match really, but it's happening, so, hey, that Seth Rollins ain't winning a Rumble. That's not happening.
There's been rumors of Braun Strowman. I don't personally want to see it.
He's not ready. I like him a lot, but he's not ready for world title status.
Yeah, Sami Zayn.
No,
not yet.
He's Mick Carter, unfortunately.
He's gonna get it at some point in his career. He's gonna get that one moment. He's gonna get a world title at some point in his career. It's probably gonna be just one at a WrestleMania, but he's gonna happen at some point. But yeah, now it's much too early.
Unfortunately, I don't see it happening. The only way it would happen is it would be Daniel Bryan-esque 2014.
Exactly,
again.
Precisely that.
But still, I don't see it happening.
Another, if you look at possible winners this year, Joe's an excellent option, slightly more far-fetched. Shinsuke, I'd love Shinsuke versus Styles, or actually, I wouldn't be mad at Shinsuke versus, no, there's no one else on Raw. Jericho Owens has to happen for Raw. There's no other options for their world title picture, really. No other good options, at least. Then again, will Raw be doing a chamber? Is the chamber just for SmackDown?
Just for SmackDown.
So Raw has nothing else before Mania.
No.
Oh yeah, then unfortunately this is gonna be the one that's locked in. I'd be much more happy with Styles or Cena being locked in going to Mania than Owens or Reigns. I'm a fan of Owens, and I don't know, outside of Jericho, I don't want to see him in the main event at Mania. This title reigns meant nothing. And Reigns himself as a competitor, in my opinion, means nothing. So I don't know what to say for Raw.
Yeah, I guess Raw, Jericho, and SmackDown and Samoa Joe. Well, like you said, Shinsuke Nakamura, I think that'd be interesting because if you ever saw their Wrestle Kingdom match, it was the shit. And I would love to see a rematch of that. Have Shinsuke lose the NXT Championship to Bobby Roode the night before the Rumble at NXT TakeOver. Yeah. And then he come through, win the Rumble. That'd be pretty exciting. It'd be unexpected. So yeah, I could go for that because I do want to see they're continuously trying to shake things up in WWE, and they're trying to they're definitely trying to appeal to the IWC now. So yeah. I think a really good wrestling match for a world championship or WrestleMania. When's the last time we had one of those?
A good one?
A
good wrestling match?
A really good world title wrestling match.
Oh, wow. How you feel about Taker Batista? Were those good because of wrestling or because of spectacle? And Taker being amazing?
Taker Edge was better than that.
Taker Edge was better.
27s wasn't that good. 28. CM Punk Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 28. That was that was the last good wrestling world title match I can remember.
That was so deep. That got intense.
Well, who you guys picking to win the Rumble? It's setting up for WrestleMania, so any WrestleMania suggestions, leave them in the comments. WrestlingN'Shit.
WrestlingN'Shit.